3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Farm Sim 25, and welcome back to our Calmlands Survival Challenge. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight it's almost time to harvest, y'all. It's currently September, which means it's time to plant our wheat field. I just did some maintenance. That's why I was in the workshop here. We did some maintenance on our tractors and our equipment, so we should be good to go. I'm going to get Big Red out. We're going to go pick up our planter and go plant the wheat field real quick. And then we're going to get this harvest started. We got sunflowers and corn to harvest, so it's going to be a busy day. Be a lot of time in the old harvester. But first we got to plant our wheat field. So let's go ahead and get that started. Alright, so we are going to switch this over. Ooh, I do this every time. I forget. You can't just like pull out and go crazy. We want wheat. There we go. Go ahead and unfold it. Roll up to the field. Set ourselves up. We'll go to 49 meters as usual. Beautiful. And turn it on. Drop it down and let's go. You see, we are putting down some fertilizer as well, as you'd expect. Look at that big old cornfield. I can't wait. We're about to get into the corn. This big old planter makes a big difference for taking care of our wheat field, that's for sure. You really get a feel for just how small this field is compared to our other fields. Like, this field is nothing for this planter. Alright, so first things first, we go over here, grab this one. Then we'll swing back around, hit the next one. First row's always a little bit awkward. But it only takes a few seconds to do this field, or a couple of minutes to do this field, and I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited for the harvest season that this wheat field is just kind of like, all right, let's get it done. I know that's not fair to the wheat field. It did a lot for us. I mean, think all the money we've made off those chickens and selling wheat. Like, there's been a lot of good things come from this field. But at the end of the day, it's not our primary moneymaker. This is one of those things that just keeps the chickens happy and allows us to do other things. And just like that, we have officially planted our wheat field. Look how nice it looks. Now next month we will have to also weed the field, so we'll have to keep that in mind. We'll have to bring out the sprayer down. But that big old sprayer will make short work of that field. Now I did put some thought into this. I'm thinking that we could just buy a second sprayer to make spraying our fields that much quicker. We could have the actual sprayer, the big sprayer, and then we could buy the tow behind, like, faster sprayer and use that for, us doing the majority of the work, right? Like, we could do the headlands and stuff, let the AI do the down and backs, that sort of thing, so we could knock it out a little bit faster. But, I mean, that's really all there is to this month. September is very, very quick and easy. We just show up, we plant our field, and then call it a day. Now, we'll check on our chickens and our cattle real quick, because we do need to do that. But, yeah, next month we'll have to cut all of our grass and fertilize and do all that, but we'll also be harvesting. So, let's check on our chickens real quick. Chickens should have plenty of food. They do, so we're good there. I didn't really check. Let's feed Ranja while we're thinking about it. And then get the eggs pulled over. There we go. There's Ranja, who's a good girl. I love puppies. They're so good to have around. Just a nice morale boost, you know? Other than that, let's check on our cattle. Our cattle have milk, they have straw, they have TMR, so we're good there. We will go ahead and grab the milk. Let's go ahead and attach this. Grab the slurry. Drop that. Next month we will have to adjust our TMR and all that stuff and feed our chickens. I don't know why this is not... I think we had this problem before. I just got to put it further away. But it really wants me to fill it with slurry, and I don't know why. Let me try moving it a little bit further. Dude, why is this a thing all of a sudden? Like, this was not a problem before. When we parked this originally, we didn't have any trouble with this trailer. But ever since, we've had nothing but problems out of these trailers. Attach that. See if we can't pull this trailer a little bit further away. So what I think's happening, I think the drums are trying to steal from one another rather than grab from the actual... You see what I'm saying? Like, it's trying to grab slurry because it's trying to grab the slurry from the other tanker, if I had to guess. And it will not let me grab the milk from the actual thing, which is silly because there's 37,000 liters of milk in there. So what I'm thinking is, I guess when we don't need it, we can just pull the slurry tanker away, try to get it far enough away that it shouldn't interfere. Maybe we can pull it this way. trying to get it to where there, so it'll allow me to pick up slurry there. Now, hopefully, those are far enough away from one another that this will now allow me to select the freaking milk. Like, it's got milk in it. It should default to grabbing the milk. I don't know why all of a sudden it's just being a pain in my backside. I need to keep the milk flowing. And if I go another month... Oh, God. I think I need a bigger tractor. As much as I like this little John Deere, it just struggles with these things. And I've got a gigantic weight on the front. Imagine if I didn't have that weight on there. It will not let me grab milk. Hold on. Like, we know we have milk. It says that we got 37,000 liters of milk or whatever. Wait, was the weight actually causing us the issues with the steering? I know this is going to cause problems when it comes time to... Yeah, it will not let us pick up the milk. I feel like we've bugged it out somehow. I'll be right back. Let's go grab our other barrel. We'll make sure that the dairy is full. But we can hold the 30 some odd thousand liters or whatever it is in this one. So we'll go ahead and do that. See, now that allows me to grab the milk. Weird. It's alright though, we'll get the milk and then take this back over to the dairy, let it do its thing. Beautiful. And then we'll figure out how we can get that other one to work in a little bit. Also, I need to fix this spot here as well. Go ahead and do that. Shut her down. Let's go ahead and fix that terrain real quick. Alright, so we want to bring the terrain up a little bit. And then we should be able to soften it along the edges. Make it a little bit nicer. Still going to be a little bit of a bump there, but not nearly as bad as it was. Alright, so let's check on our biogas plant, make sure it's got everything it needs, and it appears that it does. Now, one of the things I'm actually going to do is I am going to do corn drying. So we're gonna be looking into that as well. So one of the things that we need to do is go into this and start storing our methane, because we are producing methane as a byproduct of our generation. So if we go in here, like everything's set to selling. I guess it's not storing methane? Not sure how this works. Like, I don't see methane there. Is there a spot that I'm supposed to hook up to for methane? It's like, it's not showing. It says that it produces methane, but it's not showing that you can get methane. Like, it's not showing that it's storing it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to put down a tank or something. I mean, this is an out for sure. But you wouldn't get methane from there, I don't think. I think that's where you get the digestate out of. Strange. All right, well, we're not gonna beat around the bush. We got a lot of work to do. Let's jump back over to our house and go forward in time. Everything should work itself out. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go into October. All right, we have almost $1 million. We're over $750,000 in the bank. That's crazy. All right, Ronja, I got some more food for you. Chickies, thanks for the eggs. Appreciate you. We got work to do today, Ronja. I hope you're ready. Okay, 6,500 liters of food in there, so we're good for now. Let's get look at that field of corn ready to be harvested over there. You gotta love it. All right, first things first, let's jump in the mower and get this thing mowing. This is the last mow of the year. So we're gonna make sure that we're doing that. All right. Set that up and let it go. All right, in terms of this, we're gonna drop the trailer and we're gonna go over here and feed our cattle, make sure that they have straw. Alright, now I am going to try to back that trailer up. Also, since this thing seems to be doing better without that weight on the front, I might take that weight and try to put it somewhere else. It's still not letting me swap over to grabbing milk with this. I think I have... Okay, I got an idea. Let's sell off the milk that we have in this and try it again. I think it might be glitched. I think it might be thinking that I've got slurry in this instead of milk, which is why it's defaulting to slurry and won't let me switch. So let me just do that. Get rid of anything in there, and then see if we can't pick up the milk. Also, I might try to do something else with this tractor. Like, we don't need it for the narrow tires anymore. Maybe putting some like different tires on it might help. See, it's still just slurry. I don't know what's going on. It's so weird. And of course, this thing should be filling with slurry, no problem. Alright, let's grab this, and we're going to put this weight off to the side, I think. And we're going to actually put down a little garage, our little workshop. Super cheap. Just toss this down here. And then we can drive our tractor over there. And anytime we need to update this tractor, we can just bring it over here. Okay, if we go to customize, I'm going to go to the BKTs because... Oh wait, we don't have BKTs apparently. Alright. Well, let's go with that. We'll go with... I guess we can go with the wide tires. That should do. Hopefully that'll... If we go here... I guess this has twin wheels. I don't really need twin wheels. Just wondering if there's any, like, wheel weights. Rear twins. That might not actually be a bad idea. Let's go with that. Continental rear twins. It's going to cost a little bit of money. But that should hopefully give us a little bit more, more grip with this tractor. Pick that up. And it doesn't affect our turning radius, in theory. We'll take this thing over and make sure that the other trailers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, keeping our biogas plant running. Yeah, it's nice having the grip of, you know, twin wheels on the back, and also still having the ability to turn. Alright, we're going to drop the slurry there. Seems like it's doing a pretty good job there. And we'll grab this manure trailer. Do the same thing. Alright, everything should be good to go from there. The only thing that we don't have is a way to get the milk out unless we use that other barrel. Because for whatever reason, this one is just flat out not working. See, it says the selected silo is empty, but I'm definitely trying to get milk. Alright, so this one's broken for some reason. And I don't know why. So we're just going to pull it out of the way. And we'll just have to use our other barrel over here. Let's put our weight down as well. We'll put the weight over here. I don't think we need that front weight. And it's a really big front weight. For such a small tractor anyway. Yeah, we got 171,000 liters of milk. I think we're just going to sell that off, to be perfectly honest. I don't think we're going to mess around with it. We'll keep the dairy filled, but everything extra we're just going to sell off. Okay, so we are selling our milk here. We got a lot of milk to sell, too. There we go. Now we can use this barrel to pick up our milk since it seems to still be working. We'll figure something out with that other trailer. If I have to sell it, I'll sell it. We'll just use this for the time being, since this one seems to be working. Alright, let's head back over and get ready to start our harvest. We also need to jump in the sprayer, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Should be able to spray our wheat field. I do this every time. I forget, I start turning, and immediately crash into the building. Good thing that ain't real. I'd have destroyed all my equipment, destroyed my building, and everything. Alright, so we'll set this to 53 meters. And then let the AI take off with that. Make sure they are going to, in fact, take off. Beautiful. Alright, so it's time to jump in the old harvester. And I believe our corn header is what we use for both corn and sunflowers, so we shouldn't have to even worry about changing headers. It's going to be great. We're going to need to grab You'd think it would, maybe if I bump it. Man, how did it end up going towards the river? I can promise you that is not how I left it. There we go. Alright. Now I think we're going to go up and harvest the sunflowers first. So we'll get on that. And then we'll finish the episode by harvesting all the corn. We got a lot of stuff to harvest. We're also going to have to put down a corn dryer. Look at that cornfield, man. Alright, now we'll probably just go ahead and head up this way. That should be fine. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about traffic. So, should be able to drop the trailer here. Unfold the harvester. Grab our harvester header. And let's get this harvested. No! It started harvesting my corn. Dag nabbit. Well, shucks. I guess we're starting with the cornfield. Dang it! That is not what I wanted to do first. I wanted to do this one. I didn't think about that. That did not cross my mind as to how that was going to start out working. It's all good, though. Ain't the first time, won't be the last time everything goes to crap. We're going to do a basic flyby here. Wait a second. Before I go doing anything too crazy, I should probably make sure this is set to 49. Otherwise, we'll end up leaving little gaps. We don't want that. Alright. Now we should be good. Let the harvest commence. Look at all that corn. Not gonna lie, part of me thought about changing the working width for this episode, and then I got to thinking, I was like, man, that will literally take forever. This is a big old field. Okay, AI worker has finished. That must have been the sprayer that finished. And now this guy's finishing too. Good timing. Get this guy working on the next spot. Alright, let's grab this, fold it in, park the old sprayer. Looks like I'm going to have to clean this thing after we get this thing put away. Of course, I'll have to clean the harvester and stuff too, so we'll just wait till the end. Alright, let's go pick up our other tractor, get them started on fertilizing. And then while they're doing that, we're going to get back over here and keep harvesting. Now, when we finish up our headlands, we are going to drive all the way back to the other side of the field and start our down and backs, just because we know that if we start down there, we'll end up at the big side of the field, which is where we want to end anyway, because we will be doing our sunflowers right after this. As a matter of fact, we probably ought to get a trailer up there to offload into. That way we don't have to drive all the way back to the silo. We just empty it into a trailer and then just start right into the sunflower field. That would be a smart idea. In fact, I think I'll do that. I know we got enough capacity in this thing that we can hold all of what we harvest, but when we go to move over to the next field, instead of driving back down to the silo, we can just go to the next field. So far, everything is working beautifully, though. We are going to have a lot of corn. I've never done corn on a field this size, so it's going to be interesting to see how much corn we actually end up with. I know you get more corn off of a field than you do soybeans. So we're going to have a boatload of corn. But you also make less for selling corn than you do soybeans. So you end up actually losing money every time you do corn compared to doing soybeans. Which is why we started with soybeans. Now what we could do is go ahead and knock out this section, since this is always like the extra section anyway. Wouldn't hurt us to go ahead and do that. think it's usually one more row. And then everything else should just be our normal down and backs, starting from the other side. Actually, looking at it now, it looks like it might be one more row. Which is fine, because I think I missed a spot up here anyway. Wasn't paying attention to see whether or not they finished the cutting on that second field or not. I'll have to look at that in a minute. Now let's knock out this little spot that we missed, and we'll do the last row. Go ahead and save real quick and we'll check in on the other mower. Okay, looks like he is done, so let's go ahead and try to rotate around. This spot that it always misses. This spot down here that they always miss too. All right. Let that go. They're still working. Pick this up and we'll head up to the top. And this will be for sure the last row before we go down to the other side of the field. And like I said, that should in theory allow us to end up here on this side of the field. In theory. Normally we do this section last, but we were here. Kind of makes sense that you can do it now. You can see where this row would go straight into the road. So this is the last road, or row. All right, pick that up. Let's head over to the other weird section of the field. Might have missed a spot there. Trying to cut it a little bit too close on the turns. Hopefully it grabs it. Perfect. Alright, I think we goofed on which side we started on, but it's fine. We'll just have to go back to the back and start it. Already over 500,000 liters of corn, and we haven't even done the majority of the field yet. It's a lot of corn. But I think we got it perfect. We'll say this is definitely not the best yield you've ever seen. But where we lack in overall percentage of yield, we make up for in total acres, right? That's how that works. Who needs bushels per acre when you could just add acres? I think we're going to have over 1 million acres, or 1 million liters, guys. It's going to be a massive corn harvest. And I don't remember how much you can put into the corn dryer, to be honest. I forget. I know we did a little bit of the corn dryer in the previous series over on our New Frontier series. Somebody just finished is either the fertilizer or the mowers, probably the mower. So we'll double check on everybody. finish this row. How much corn we still have left to harvest? Alright, let's go check on everybody. Okay, fertilizer's still going, and the mower has finished. Perfect. Let's get this thing put away. A little bit of progressive entry there. Alright, shut her down. Looks like we're doing... Alright, let me just do this real quick. We can do the headlands faster than they can. We'll knock out the headlands and send this thing over to the next field. Can't tell if they already did this one or it is working. I feel like they've already done it. In that case, well, this part definitely looks like it ain't been done yet. Maybe it has. Okay, maybe it has. Right. Let them get started on that. We are actually going to jump in Big Red. Grab our trailer here. Bring it back to the top of the field so that we can fill it with the corn. Obviously, we will be picking up our grass later. I just want to get this over there. Go ahead and uncover it now. Figure if we park this right here, this should be fine. And then we'll jump back in the harvester and get this thing going. Finish the corn. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see me do a harvest like this with a realistic working width just once. We can make that work. I was gonna do it this time, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know that it's gonna be a long time, and I don't know if you guys would be all that interested in it. But if you guys want to see it, let me know. We can always go over to the workshop, change the working width on our header, even if it's for one harvest. But I'm kind of interested to see how long it would take us to harvest our corn and sunflowers with a realistic working width. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got a massive header on here, so it's not that bad. And this thing will still be able to do 30 miles an hour. But just the thought that I was having. You know, those intrusive thoughts you have every once in a while that you're not supposed to let win. It's one of those moments. Imagine if we had like the starter harvester and you actually had to like offload into a trailer consistently through. It would take it forever to harvest this field. You're talking probably 6 hours. Be like that time I planted poplar with Jess. Took 4.5 hours of watching the AI plant their rows, and then another 2.5 hours of me and Jess both working together to fill in the rows in between. It was awful. It was worth it. We made a gajillion dollars off that stuff, but still. Could you imagine a field this size of poplar? Now, I've got the modded planter. I could totally do that. And it wouldn't drive me crazy like it does with, you know, before, where you only have, you know, very small working with. But that is something I was thinking about too. Like, how much money could you make off a field this size of poplar? It'd be absurd. Of course, at this point, we're making so much money every year that we basically get to do whatever we want at this point. We can buy land every year. We can buy whatever equipment we really want. Like, we can do pretty much all of it. But this year, I'm definitely going to be buying the corn dryer. That's going to cost a pretty penny. Then we've got to buy the equipment to make sure that we haul methane, because we don't have wood chips. Now, obviously, I would love to have methane being made from our power plant, but it doesn't seem to be storing it. It says that it creates it, but it doesn't say that it's storing it anywhere. So I'm not sure how that works. Somewhere out there, somebody with a very strong British accent would probably be yelling at me, being like, hey, it's not methane, Spartan, okay? It's methane. In which case I say tomato, tomato. Welcome to Ohio, where we say methane. We're almost done, y'all. One more pass and we'll be done. We're over 1.1 million liters of corn. That's a lot of corn. Somewhere out there, somebody's looking at this giant corn haul and being like, you know how much moonshine I could make off of that field? The answer is a lot. Of course, you'd have to make sugar too. Which brings me back to our sugar cane that we talked about. One of the things you guys did mention that you'd like to see me do is sugar cane. And I am definitely down for that. We already make dairy, we make eggs, so we could definitely do something along sugarcane and then make some sort of like bakery or something. That's something I've never done before. We've got wheat, we've got eggs, we've got dairy, we've got you know, all we need is sugar, I think, and then maybe strawberries, which we can absolutely make in our little backyard gardens. Just a thought. Alrighty, folks. Over 1.25 million liters of corn as we start our last pass. I don't know why I'm doing this. Just go this way. Someone's OCD just had a conniption, and I don't blame you. At least this way it looks like I'm still cutting corn. Spartan cut corn and I don't care. Spartan cut corn and I don't care. Spartan cut corn and I don't care. He harvests all day long. I say we had a 1.25 million. We're not quite to 1.25. Close. Hopefully by the end of this row we'll have 1.25 million liters. Alright. Now, I think that this is likely the biggest corn harvest you've ever seen on a single field that isn't on the 4 fields map. Let me know what you guys think. Almost 200 acres of corn, giving us 1.26 million liters. Let's offload that. Man, you know you got a lot of stuff when it isn't, like, instantaneous. Beautiful. Alright, well, let's swing around, go back down to the beginning of this field, do our headlands. Alright, set this up. Hold on to the field. Okay. So just like basically cuts the top of the sunflower off. I mean, it makes sense. And grinds it up and separates the seeds. Now, how much are we going to get off of sunflowers on this field? That'll be the next question. Honestly, from a harvesting standpoint, this isn't all that interesting. I like the corn better. Like, you can barely see the little tops being trimmed off and going up into the harvester. Alright, before we start this next section, let's make sure that our fertilizer guy is still fertilizing. Because it don't usually take him very long to do the other two fields. The first field, yeah. The rest of them, not so much. As expected. We got a lot of grass to pick up, too, after this. Well, we're really starting to pile on the workload, aren't we? Alright. Wait. Let them get started on that. And let us keep on a-trucking. Yeah, even inside you can barely see like the tops of the sunflowers getting kicked off. Interesting. At least they're cool while they're growing, even if they aren't the most interesting thing to harvest. A little bit of an awkward side of the field, but everything else should be pretty straightforward. Now we got to remember, we plant these in March. We plant the corn and soybeans in April. Now, initially I thought we could do like another field full of sunflowers, but I don't think I'm actually going to do that. I think we'll set up another field for something else. Almost done with the headlands though. An awkwardly shaped field. Whose bright idea was it to follow the roads in this map to lay out the field shapes? Slightly regretting that. That's not that bad. Let's pick up that little piece that we missed. No sunflowers left behind. Yep. Definitely does not feel like you get a lot of yield off of the sunflowers. And again, I mean, we are already at 120,000 liters. Maybe you do get quite a bit of yield. Speaking of yield, maybe we should pay attention to what our yield actually is. mean, there's some good in there. Some not so good. And then some really good. I guess we'll follow this one all the way down. This little bit here. Honestly, this kind of works, this field layout. Because really, I mean, it's pretty straightforward in terms of its harvesting capability. It's a really long field, not as wide. You don't have to do a lot of turning around and crazy stuff. And then this harvester makes short work of it. We got maybe 2 more passes, like 1 full and a partial. Now, I have no idea how much money sunflowers are going to net us. I know if we did a oil factory, we'd be able to make more money off of it. But I feel like if we're going to do an oil factory, we'd be better off doing multiple things. We would have to do the sunflowers and like do canola to really make it worth it. That would get us 2 different oils being produced. And that is definitely something we could do. I don't know. We'll look at the prices and everything, whether it would be worth to transfer all this stuff over to make sunflower oil or not. But there you have it, folks. Our first ever sunflower and our first ever corn harvest has come to an end. Not too shabby. 215,000 liters of sunflowers. That's a lot of sunflower seeds. Going to make a lot of baseball players real happy. And just in time for the AI to finish up the fertilizing. Hopefully it attached. We'll find out when I go to pick up that friggin' trailer. If it falls off, we know it didn't attach. Okay, so it did lock it. Perfect. Alright, well, let's get this down there. We will take the harvester over, unload it into the silo for now. We got 215,000 liters of sunflowers to put in. I think we are going to use the section across the river as like our industrial area, so we'll put our corn dryer over there. We'll put, if we do decide to put an oil mill in, we'll put it over there as well. We'll check all that stuff out in a minute. For now, though, we're going to drop our header off. And I've been thinking, like, I've been thinking about putting these headers up here in the gravel. But then I got to thinking, I need pretty much all the room I can get to, like, pull in and out of those. So probably not our best idea. Alright, let's set that down there. Hopefully it doesn't wiggle around and end up pointing the wrong direction again. We'll just offload these into the silo. Might be too close. Nope, perfect. Alright, that is our harvest complete. We just gotta go pick up all the grass now. And get our corn back here. Fold this thing in. Back her up. Crash into the building. At this point, it's a rite of passage. Alright, let's go get our big red. Now, I'm not going to offload the corn out of this trailer just yet, because, again, I do plan on putting down a corn dryer. And we'll see what that entails. Whether it's a big building, a small building, a silo, what we go with. I think the silos that do corn drying, though, I think they don't handle enough. I think we need one of the big, like, manufacturing center corn dryers. Now, as far as I know, the one mod that I was using in the previous series, it has a big building, but it also has like a smaller building that looks more like it belongs on a small farm or something like that, or a, you know. But given the fact that we're kind of building up our own little industrial sector over there, across from the dairy farm, I feel like that would be kind of perfect for that. So we're just going to drop this trailer here for the time being. And then we will run over to the back, grab our forage harvester. Or, sorry, forage wagon. I say that every time, I think. Alright, we should have plenty of silage additives, so we won't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and pick up all our grass. I've thought about something when it comes to like efficiency. Instead of picking up this bottom layer, what if we just go through and pick up each row, and then we just scoop up part of the bottom every time that we come back down? That'll save us a couple of extra seconds. We probably ought to jump on the left side. Now you can see what I mean when I say if we go to the left side here, we just grab this as we turn. And I'd say that worked perfectly. All right. Same thing we always do through here. Dang. Only missed a small spot. One of these days I'm going to get it perfect. I ain't gonna lie. I enjoy sliding the trailers around. I know it's not the most realistic thing in the world, but it is fun. And sometimes that's what it's all about, having fun. And slide. We are going to need some silage additive, for sure. So we're going to have to end up buying some new crates of silage additive and bring in. We'll store them in the bin, or in the bay next to where we store the forage wagon. That way when we go to put things up, we can always just fill up right then and there. But there you have it, folks. Another beautiful harvest has come and gone. Our craziest harvest yet, by a long shot. Now what we do want to check is our silos and make sure that they've done what they've got to do. I don't know which silo needs it, so let's save and then we'll check our silos. All right, so the one that has the TMR in it is this one, and it's got no grass left, and neither do the other two. So the good news is we're actually going through grass faster than we're producing it, which is good, because that means we are maximizing our profits, which is why we ended up putting 3 of these in the first place. So we'll go ahead and unload that there. Try to get this to turn into this bay. Again, for backing up, this tractor is not the best. Dual wheels and turning aren't necessarily known for being the greatest combination in the world. But we got her in there. That's what matters. Let's get this thing over to the trailer, and then we'll figure out what we want to do. All right. While we decide what we want to do, let's look at the prices. So, currently, we have 215,000 liters of soybeans, or sorry, sunflowers. I'm gonna say that multiple times at some point. They sell for a maximum price of $805 by themselves. What does sunflower oil sell for? I'm sure it's a lot more. Sunflower oil sells for $2,100. So we are getting a almost 3 times benefit from making sunflower oil. But how much does it cost to buy the actual sunflower or the oil production plant? So if we go in here and we look for an oil mill, we're looking at $240,000 for an oil mill. And it can take canola, sunflowers, all that stuff. Let's see. I don't know if I have a modified one, but we'll just keep going down and seeing. Might actually have one that's faster or something. That's a flour mill. Grain drying silo. See, here's the thing. Can only hold 250,000 liters. It might take us a while to go through all of our corn. Oh, somebody also asked what the mod name is, and it's called Water Pump with Distribution Mod. So I wanted to make sure I showed this in this episode as well, for those of you wondering. It's called Water Pump with Distribution Mod. Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to get just a regular grain dryer, and I think we'll get the oil mill too. It's $240,000 for the oil mill. I don't think there's another one, so we'll just go with it. $240,000 for the oil mill. Now again, we're going to put everything over here on this side. We don't own that land. Well, we're just going to have to fix that, aren't we? How dare you say I don't own the land? I own all the land. The game is like, wait, you can't do this. I was like, I just did. This is my Batman or Iron Man moment. It's like, yeah, we'll just buy the land. How about that? All right, so how do we want this to set up? We've got our entry, our dump right there, so I feel like that's correct. I don't think... Yeah, there's the wrench on the back, so I don't really care about that. Where do you get the stuff out? Like, I'm not seeing an offload area, unless it's right there at the back. I can't really tell. So here's the thing with it always stuck... Yeah, it's right there. Okay. So that is a deal we're going to have to keep in mind. Now, somebody always says, like, you should do the whatever beforehand. And I do agree with you to an extent. But yeah, I think we just put it in like this. To be honest, it's not a huge building. We're just gonna keep rolling it down the side. I know it's gonna cost a lot with terraforming. We're gonna have to adjust things, but it's nothing we haven't done before. That friggin' trailer constantly dumping is kind of silly. Don't get me wrong, comes in handy. Just kind of silly. Alright. Again, it's not ideal, but I don't intend to hold on to the oil anyway. I'm just going to distribute it. So we can bring that over and start that production. Probably ought to put some gravel in or something to link everything up. I know I need to do that for the dairy too, so let's go ahead and do that. I don't know, I just like gravel for some reason. I just think it looks good. We'll say this, you can definitely see the difference in slopes and stuff when you have the gravel out. We've got that. Let's go ahead and slap some gravel in on this side too. There we go. That way everything's kind of like linked together. Kind of. Alright, let's try to soften this a little bit further. Again, I don't expect everything to be perfect. Again, I know I'm building into the hillside and whatnot. But that should be good for that. Now, the other thing that we want to look at is the production for the corn dryer. Like I said, there's a big building and a relatively small building. I think this is the one that we used in the previous. It's only 40 grand. You can see how that one worked. You got the methane tank on the left side. You got the left bay is where you would put wood chips, and then of course your grains go in the right bay. And then the corn actually comes out the side of the building over here on the right. So do I want that? I mean, that kind of fits in a little bit better than this thing. It's the same mod, I think. Yeah, this one is just a gigantic building. But they have the exact same capacity and throughput and all that stuff. I've checked it previously. It's just whether we want to go with this thing or the other one. Now, this has solar panels on the roof, so I wonder if that doesn't give me something in terms of, like, production. But I think we just go with this. It's only 40 grand. They have the same throughput. Financially, it doesn't make sense to go for the other one. So we are going to just slap this sucker right in here. Holy mother of God! That is not how I thought that was going to go. Darn terraforming. Well, this is going to cause problems. Wait, the terraforming did not like that at all. We'll fix it, though. We'll fix it. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Just kind of slide it down through here. Now the interesting thing is going to be dropping off methane here. Boy, that made a mess, didn't it? Good Lord. I guess I should have put that further back from the road, because that has made an absolute mess. That's alright though. We'll make it work. Yeah, I definitely should have put that further back from the road. That's my fault. Alright, well, we need to bring over our sunflower seeds, we need to bring over our corn, and we need to get a methane tank. So, we need some sort of transporter for methane. If we go into barrels, there are specific tanks for methane. And you'll see them. Yeah, so these right here can actually haul methane. The methane is the little fire blue, whatchamacallit. We got $472,000. I'm thinking we just buy a big old methane tank and then buy a tractor trailer or a truck to haul it. Just because. We got the money. I ain't worried about money. Let's do it. Let's just knock that out the park. Alright, I'm even going to keep it nice and silver or chrome. It looks good. Stainless, chrome, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and buy that. 90 grand. And then we are going to need a truck to haul it. And I just wanted to check and make sure there wasn't one for sale. Which means we get to choose. And I know you guys probably think you know what I'm going to choose. I honestly don't know. We've got some crazy ones. We don't really care about going super crazy here. Got modern Mac. This is the 379. We know it's a good one. Honestly, I kind of think we bring back Mac. Just good old Mac. I don't need anything crazy, but if you guys remember Mac from the previous episode, or the previous series, we're going to go good old Bald Eagle Mac. Nothing crazy, just good old Bald Eagle Mac. Let's go ahead and buy it. Alright, now, there's a couple other things that we got to do. Let's double check the prices and see if there's already a thing down to sell the dry corn. So we want to look at dry corn. And you can sell dry corn at the Sell Everything mod. So that's fine. Obviously, we're going to hold on to our dry corn as long as possible, too. So that's good. Okay, so now that we know that we can sell the dry corn at the Sell Everything mod, I don't need to put down a dry corn sell point. But we do have to figure out where we can buy methane. So if we go down here, we should be able to find the methane. Might be at the bottom. Never mind. Methane isn't even showing up on here. Okay. So we are actually going to have to put down a methane buy point. So I think it's a selling point. Maybe not. Greenhouses, cultivation, generators. It's not a... Okay. Is it under containers? Okay, so there's a methane buy point there. So this is only $1,000. So we can go ahead and put that in. Now, I know what you're thinking, and you're right, but I'm going to put this over here for the sole purpose of the fact that it kind of looks like it belongs, right? Can't tell which side's which. I know we fill up from here, so I think we'll put this methane tank right here. Whoops. There we go. So the methane tank has been put down. So let's go get our corn. We'll bring the corn over. Hopefully it'll offload out of here straight into the corn dryer. First person view comes in real handy for our little shortcut. We'll run all this corn right over here. That's going to be a problem. All right. Well, I think we're going to need more trailers, y'all. Dude, we got so many trailers everywhere. It's crazy. Alright, cut through here. I think we are going to get another trailer too. No reason not to. We're going to need it. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got a new trailer. We're going to fill it with our sunflowers. Take it over and drop it off at the oil mill. And then we'll come back, we'll pick up Mac. Take Mac over with the methane. We have spent a lot of money in this episode, but I think it's all going to pay off. Again, money really isn't a concern anymore for us. We make so much money off of silage and everything, it's crazy. Alright, let's get this back down to the farm. Nice not having to worry about driving through our fields. There's nothing growing on it right now. So we get a nice straight shot down the hill for old time's sake. We can fill this thing up with sunflowers, and while we're waiting for it to fill up with sunflowers, we'll go up and we'll grab Mac, hook him up to our tanker for methane, and then we'll fill it up with methane and go over and offload the methane into our corn dryer to get that production started. Alright, so we want sunflowers. Did I go past it? There it is. Alright. There he is. Look at old Mac. Looking good as ever. Good to have you back, Mac. Mac's like, I think I'm gonna like this job. Compared to all that logging he did. Alright. Let's head across the way. Man, that tanker looks so good on Mac. Now, some of you guys will probably be like, well, Spartan, that's kind of a waste. I feel like you bought this truck and you're not really even going to be hauling anything. You bought it to get methane like one time. And it's not even that far of a trip. I feel like you could have just got a regular barrel and you'd have saved yourself a lot of money. And to that end, I would agree. But on the other hand, we brought back Mac. And that means something. Look at him. It's like it's meant to be. Alright, Mac. Welcome to the Calmlands, buddy. It's gonna be a dusty, dirty mess. But for the most part, you're gonna be sitting. You got an easy, cushy job compared to the last time we were working together. I'll be driving in my field now, Mac. Alright. Pull up into here and grab a load of methane. I have no idea how much this is going to cost, but I imagine it's going to be not cheap. Fill old Mac up. While we're waiting for the methane to finish filling, we'll come back over here. Grab our sunflowers, take the sunflowers over to the oil mill. Now again, the oil mill, the downside is, like, I'm going to have to check the prices. Because personally, I don't want to be loading up pallets of oil. I just don't. But on the other hand, if there's a huge fluctuation in price, I don't want to be losing money either. Even though money doesn't really mean anything. Because we got plenty of it, but that's not the point. Alright, pull right on up here. Bit of a bump. Hopefully it'll hold on to all these sunflowers. You gotta be kidding me. Why does everything only like only have like such a small amount that it holds? Like, come on, man. It's almost like they didn't expect people to be using big fields. Alright, so we've got sunflower oil. Before we start storing it, though, I do want to check. It only holds 96,000 liters of sunflower seeds. It's crazy. I hope it goes through them relatively quickly, but I have a suspicion that's probably not. Alright, so sunflower oil sells for its highest price in March, and it fluctuates between $2,100 all the way down to $1,100, so $1,000 a 1,000 liters. Yeah, that's not acceptable to be selling all at once. Yeah, I think we're gonna store it. So sunflower oil, go ahead and start up. We're gonna be storing you. That might give us some other stuff to do with old Mac. After all. Alright, well, we are going to need to get Mac over here. So let's find him. Might as well park this while we're at it. Pull this thing into the shed. We have filled up with methane. Take our methane down here to our corn dryer. Might be a little bit awkward getting in here. Should be plenty of room though. Oh, I gotta have this on in order to offload methane? Didn't know that. Also, it looks like it's gonna use an entire tanker full. Alright. Well, that should be plenty to go ahead and start. So let's go ahead and get in here. And we are going to be doing dried corn using methane. Oh, we could have used straw. That actually would have saved us a bunch of money. I didn't even think about that. I didn't realize. All right, so we are going to be using methane. So let's go ahead and turn that on. That should go through quite a bit of corn. You can see it holds 500,000 liters. So hopefully it'll go through that stuff pretty quick. You can see it is actually dropping corn as it produces it, so that's good for us. But we are going to have just this game freaking out from all these automatic trailers. But I think that's probably where we're... Look at this, just trailers everywhere, man. We have a crazy business. I ain't gonna lie. But I think that's where we're going to leave off for the day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have enjoyed the craziest harvest of all time. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.